Under your breath, whispers in the dark I hear, cause the street ain't loyal to choose sides. Prepared for the beef, whoever lose dies. Rich and I'm thuggin', I can't trust nothing. This bitch that I'm fucking, this clip that I'm bustin' could jam in my fist. Look at my hand, finger pussy walk, spin some rings, cut cold cookies, wrote poetry and broke noses. B boys is heaven, I'm God's son, of course a legend. This is part one, speak my sermon, the hood revving, blood and
what is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Sample Shopping. This is Maximilian Must Know, and as I said, sample shopping episode today. We've got 4 fragrances to look at from decantshop.com. You guys already know, best website to get fragrance samples and decants from all different kinds, niche, discontinued, vintage, original formulation, designer. And the coolest thing about Decant Shop is that you can sell or trade in fragrances that you have in your collection for samples or decants or cash, and you can also buy decanting supplies. So it's a phenomenal website. You know, whenever someone comes to me and they're like, I want a sample of X, I always say, go to Decant Shop, use my coupon code MAX12. You're going to get the amount you paid for because Adriana measures before she puts them in the vials, and you're going to get it quicker than anywhere else. And that's just fact. Before I had my relationship with Decant Shop, I had a few pretty poor experiences with some of the other major sites out there that sell decants. So I always fuck with Decant Shop. Keep it 100 with you guys. Use that coupon code MAX12. So 4 fragrances this week. First one, this is one that Adriana just sent me because she had a sample of it. She's not actually selling this one, but it is from the house of Mancera, so I thought I'd talk to you about it. It's called the Aoud. We've looked at, I actually reviewed Mancera's, no, I'm sorry. On Sample Shopping, we looked at Mancera's Black Intensive Oud and Cedrat Boys on the show, and I thought both were good, but I won't buy either. Now, I do own one scent from the house, and that's called Oud Black Candy, primarily a licorice-based fragrance. I honestly don't wear as much as I probably should. I do want to purchase another Mancera scent in the future. I just haven't found that one yet that really is out there calling for me. Now, I only know of one place in the U.S. that stocks Mancera, and that is in New York. They have this one available at 120 ml size for $160. But I also got a catalog from Bergdorf Goodman where they were advertising Mancera, so maybe they are now carrying the house as well. Really would like to own a second bottle from the house, but haven't yet found what I want. Maybe this will be the one. This one came out in 2011, and notes on it are bergamot, cloves, cinnamon, white pepper, rose, geranium, saffron, oud, woodsy notes, cedar, sandalwood, leather, and white musk. And to me, this one just screams Montal and Mancera. It's really just that pungent of an oud. I don't get a lot of other notes in this, you know, maybe some spice like cloves and cinnamon and saffron. But for me, this is mainly oud. You want oud, this is oud. The problem with for me with the Montals and Mancera, both from the same company, is that there are just so many that oud fragrances in those lineups that it's hard to really tell them apart a little bit. And I think there's also a few that do smell like this one. So it kind of becomes hard to pick which one to buy. So this one is nice. Would I tell you, oh, you got to check the oud out? Probably not. I think there are other oud scents out there that are probably better. Next one, we have a new house for us on the show. This is from the house called La Vanilla Laboratories. And this fragrance is called Vanilla Coconut. Now, I have 0 experience with this house, which is US based. They're a relatively newer house as well. They were formed in 2007, and some Sephoras do stock this house. You can typically find 50 ml bottles for about $58. Vanilla Coconut came out in 2007, and the notes on it are tiara flower at the top, sandalwood and heliotrope in the middle, and coconut and vanilla in the base. And to me, you know, this one's nice. It smells to me something like, I would think, Tokyo Milk or Comptoir Sud Pacifique, would have made. Very nice, natural smelling. Someone on Fragrantica described it as eating a box of vanilla sandwich cookies with sunscreen on, and that's actually a pretty good assessment. Would I go out of my way to get a bottle of this? I wouldn't. But if this fragrance is your type of thing, go for it. You know, if you're a coconut fanatic, you might want to give this one a look. My personal favorites from the tropical category are Virgin Island Water by Creed, Apuana by Profumi del Forte, and What I Did on My Holidays by 4160 Tuesdays. That one's really cool. It's sort of an aquatic morphed with a gourmand. To me, this one just isn't as good as those. Now, this one is cheaper, so I do want to put that out there, but it just doesn't do it for me the way the others do. Next up, we have one from the house of Zegna. This is called Zegna Intenso. Now, we looked at Zegna Z a couple of months back. I wasn't impressed. I own Uomo, and that doesn't impress me either. But what does and has impressed me, very much so, is their Privé line. That is getting some serious burn in Fragcom right now. Mickers and Daver reviewed that one on Daver's channel. You know, Javanese Patchouli is the one that they reviewed, and that one's probably getting the most burn. But I think they're all pretty good. I really like their newest one called Ambrette, and I'm probably going to be picking that up pretty soon. I'm also going to be getting Uomo Absolute, which I had the chance to smell a couple of weeks ago, and I really like that one as well. And I'm also probably getting Zegna Forte. So Zegna is definitely coming on strong with me after having a few that I didn't really like. Now, Intenso was a 2007 release by Parfumé Daniela Andrier, who is now Prada's in-house nose, and she's really blooming. You know, she also did the new Bottega Veneta scent for men, which is a very interesting scent that I'll probably take a look at in 2015. This was a 2007 release with notes of mandarin, lemon, cardamom, and pink pepper. At the top, iris, vetiver, cedarwood, amber, sandalwood in the middle, and vanilla and tonka bean in the base. 100 ml of this can typically be found for around $70 to $80. And this is nice. This sort of reminds me of a lot of intense fragrances that have come out now, you know, Luna Rossa Extreme or Givenchy Gentleman Only Intense. These Issey Miyake, L'Eau d'Issey Nuit. These fragrances, you know, what they do is they add vanilla and tonka bean and sometimes lavender or mint, and they love to call it extreme or intense. And to me, there's nothing extreme or intense about this. It's just a decent designer fragrance. There's nothing to me that separates this from all the other fragrances I mentioned. In fact, the other ones are just better. I don't think this is intense. I just don't think it's very good. I think there's far better ways for you to spend your money when you're looking at Zegna. You know, Forte comes to mind. Uomo Absolute comes to mind. So just look out there. And if you want something from Zegna, take a look at some different fragrances that they've done. Lastly, this week we have one from the house of Versace. This one is called Versus. Now, I am a fan of Versace fragrances. I own 6. I've got Eros, Versace Man, Versace Eau Fresh, Versace Dreamer, Versace Pour Homme, and Blue Jeans. And this one and Oud Noir were the only 2 left on my to-buy list from the house. So we'll see if this one sticks around. Now, I believe Versus has been discontinued, but it can be found if you look around enough for about $30. It was released in 1991, sort of that weird period when the big and bold 80s fragrances sort of were falling out of favor, but also when the freshies like L'Eau d'Issey and Acqua di Gio hadn't yet been introduced. Notes on this are, there's a lot: mandarin, lime, bergamot, green notes, lemon, lavender, orange, petitgrain, carnation, coriander, jasmine, orris root, palisander, rosewood, amber, benzoin, cedar, musk, sandalwood, tonka, and vanilla. Woo. And guys, the trick with this was, or the trick with these 80 fragrances, just so you guys know, was to just throw everything in there and try to make bold and big fragrances that commanded the room when you walked in with one. I think the problem, though, was probably that every guy, every businessman was wearing these fragrances, and so it probably smelled pretty testosterone fueled in those rooms, and because people were allowed to smoke back then, it was probably just a horrific smell. This is okay. It's kind of soapy. It reminds me a little bit if you took Mugler cologne and crossed it with, like, I don't know, Giorgio, Beverly Hills for Men, or Quorum by Antonio Puig. It's got a soapy greenness in it. I'm surprised that Galbanum is in the know because it's got that green resiny thing going on. I don't like it that much. I just think there's better Versace scents. Like, why wouldn't you get the Dreamer before this, or Versace Man? Like, this is dated. This just smells really dated, and not in a good way. Sometimes fragrances are dated, and you're like, oh, this is cool. This one ain't so cool. This one just smells like something an older guy would wear. And there's just better options out there nowadays. You know, if you want a fragrance like this, well, Roja Dove's got, you know, Fetish, Danger, and those are sort of like these, but the ingredients are more expensive and they smell a little bit more modern. So I would not recommend this one, and it has made its way off of my to-buy list. So ranking these, you guys could probably figure this out. I like Mancera Oud the best. I like Vanilla second. I like the Zegna third, and I like Versace fourth. I will not be buying any of these. Unfortunately, they're all misses for me, but, you know, that happens. So I'll see you guys again with another video next week. Maximilian Must Know. You guys know what it is. Please go to Decant Shop and use that coupon code MAX12, and you will get 12% off your entire order. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at maxml@gmail.com. Thanks so much for watching.
Click the value of sauce. If it's flour, just swallow your loss. A cock horse kicking poppy doors, door for the cash of the cause. Niggas break big fraction of laws. So what? We got it sewn up. Smack every cat on the